haven't heard the news, it is gut-wrenching, devastating. We don't know the extent of Terron Armstead getting injured, but I got to talk about it. And I say I want to be patient and evaluate at a high rate of accuracy, so I take my time, but I'm going to stick my foot in the ground on several spots today because there's certain things that are abundantly clear. Now, before I get into Terron Armstead, I'm not even going to call my man Terron because I'm disappointed, I'm saddened, and it's going to make things so difficult. This guy's a great guy, so I ain't playing around on a day like this. But the first thing I want to get out there, Dolphin season isn't over. It's not. It's not. You know, there is going to be week 1 through week 18, and the Dolphins can still go out there and win. That's the first point. But I'd be like an ostrich with my head in the sand to say, oh, we're going to get this guy, that guy, this guy, and he'll fill in. No, it is devastating to the chances of the Miami Dolphins to really do anything this year. And this is a peak talent season. Last season, midway through the season, I began saying 23 and 24 are our peak talent seasons with 23 and then 24. And now I hear lots of people starting to say, I told you it's, 23 is a big year. It's going to be hard after next year. This year is the year. Now, we could find some kind of way to scrap it through and do something great. Terron could come back midway through the season or early part of the season. I definitely think from what we're seeing, he's going to miss some time. It's definitely. I'll get into the injury and all that stuff. But right now, my chances to make the most out of this 2023 season is greatly diminished. We must play these games. We must see how it plays out. Anything can happen. But Terron is an epic piece for me, the most important piece on this team. Because the offensive line, as I've said for years, makes the NFL world go around. And when you got a guy like Terron, it alters the landscape of your offensive line, of your offense, and then allows your defense time to rest and be fresh for the big games at the end of the year and the postseason. Without him in it, no. I heard somebody say, Wynn was a top 15 tackle in 2020. No. Come on, man. I barely could stomach him being the left guard. Now, I like him better at tackle, but he will need help. Terron helps everybody. So right there, you might be able to tread some water at that spot, but it is nothing even in the realm of Terron. And without Terron, we've seen this offensive line have problems because they get exposed as the chain down the line starts breaking. And so now you got Lamb, who can't run block, and he struggles. He'll block occasionally. He's got some talent, but he is who he is, and we got a back end guy, and he's one-dimensional. And then you got Wynn, who's injury-prone, smallish. He can handle certain speed rushers, but, and he's supposed to be playing left guard. And so now you've got to kind of probably have him or Lamb play that left tackle spot. And then you're going to have thinness now at the left guard spot. I'm so distracted right now. You're going to have Lamb and Wynn at the left tackle spot, probably vying for that. There's nobody out there worth a damn that you're going to get to substitute for Terron. This is going to make the whole line struggle. And we're going to have to grow and build and develop and pray and a lot of the things I've been talking about for 2 to 3 years doing this show and a little bit longer on Finn's News is going to likely be transparent. Cotton and Wynn starting on the left side with Connor and Hunt and Jackson. It's going to be rough when you got a division with Von Miller and Rousseau and Oliver inside. And they got Williams and McDonald over with the Jets. And then with the Patriots, you got Judon and you got White. Keon White's looking like a monster. It's going to make everything so much harder. You're going to have to keep, I got to get that stat out to you, more guys in the box on your worthless play actions, and no one's going to buy because we can't run the football with this offensive line. Terron makes it sort of happen, but this is going to take everybody, including the staff, to step up and fill the gap. And I don't know if it's going to be enough. We just got to pray that Terron gets back soon. Again, I'm not trying to say it's doomsday. Anything can happen. We got to watch it play out. We got to see who steps up, we make the calls and how we respond, what happens to other teams. But this is a gut check, A, for what we're going to see this season, but B, for the design of the team that leaves you ragtag on the offensive line and goes and grabs a vet, a great vet, who's old with an injury history and says, you're it. You're going to make us happen. And if you go down, despite this crazy history, then we're doomed. It was a roll of the dice, a risky roll of the dice. Riverboat Greer rolled, and he rolled snake eyes. This offensive line has been treated like the redhead stepchild. I got to get the film. I'm going to be using that a lot for some memes where Greer says, oh, yeah, well, we're not as concerned as everybody else with the O-line. I wonder if he's saying that now. And then he also said, well, I don't really care about injuries. Injury is part of the game. If they're an injury-prone player or they got injury history, I don't care. Well, this is something he's going to have to overcome, or his final exam for me this season is going to be, we got a run coordinator, and we went hog wild for receiving talent, and we took guys that we drafted and said, we're going to make them work on top of having Terron, who's injured quite often. And Eichenberg was the plan at left guard. Terron being healthy was the plan at left tackle. Jackson's the plan at right tackle. Eichenberg failed. The body of Terron failed. And now it is going to be scary. You got a quarterback who does have a history of injuries. You don't have a running game to take the heat off him. You have a vertical offense. And now your protection is gutted. And nobody gets rid of good offensive linemen unless you give away the farm and more. So this is my final exam for Chris Grier. I still think he can make good. I still think this team's got the talent to do something. I just think it's going to be extremely hard. It's going to be way, way more difficult now. Just pray that Terron gets back soon. Stick in there. Don't quit on the team. Don't quit on the season. The players aren't quitting. The Dolphins, not the coaches, not the owners, not the GM. They're not the Dolphins. The Dolphins are the players and the fans who love them. We've got to believe. We've got to stick with them because we are Dolphins fans. But the reality is this team's hamstrung. And Terron not being here is not an excuse for the failure. it was a specific team design that brought him here. The avant-garde vision of Chris Grier to create and model this roster in a very specific way where it was very hands-on from the GM, ultra hands-on. So this is part of his plan, and his plan was to roll the dice on Eichenberg, roll the dice on Terron, who's awesome but has lots of injuries. So let's see. Let's see if we can scrap out something and Terron can come back. But at the end of the day, at the end of the season, Chris Grier is the first man to get the round of applause or to get the dunce hat and driven out of town, in my opinion, like Frankenstein. What he's done with this offensive line, I have not agreed with, but I said, let's see. And this is devastating. Anyway, I'll get the rest of the coverage for you for the day. I am going to believe, I am going to root for my team. I am going to find the positives. I am going to see ways for us to win. That's what fans do. That's what players do. Carson, catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.